Space Coconut.
Okay, so I'd gotten a few comments talking about how survivor troll builds are forgiven more easily than killer troll builds. While I can see the double standard that they're talking about, I really think that it only comes down to personal feelings. As a killer main, I only sometimes feel bad using a slugging or a basement build. And this mostly happens when the team I just happen to be going against doesn't exactly deserve it, or the matchmaking system has given me a group of players that might have started the game relatively recently. So, while researching survivor troll builds and meme videos, I noticed one particular trend among them, and I had this thought. If the MMR system is good, and it's accurate in measuring and matchmaking people with similar skill, some content creators like myself are going to find themselves going up against players who are not pushovers who can be bullied very easily. Which means I'm not going to be able to make videos showing you how awesome I am compared to my clearly inexperienced opponents. I won't be able to show you how easily they fall for my mind games and how garbage they are at my rank, and then conveniently forget to include the tally screen from the end of the match. Before I get into this, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. If you like the video, hit that button. If you dislike the video, hit that button too. The algorithm overlords have ordered me to create better and more thoughtful videos, so it's really you folks who are going to shape the future of this channel by helping me understand what you like to see and what you don't like to see. As a side note, I know many of you might be interested in a coconut stream. Unfortunately, due to the stay-at-home order, my cell phone tether is wildly unreliable. I can't even stream a single-player game for the time being. My building has a cable issue that needs to be taken care of, but the college Mrs. Coconut attends rents the building and isn't responsible for that kind of maintenance. So until we get in touch with the landlord somehow and convince them to take care of this issue rather than other wiring projects they're working on around town, I'm kinda stuck. And this is with all the COVID stuff going on. I'll be sure to let you know when anything changes though. So, with all the boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about the possible evolution of Dead by Daylight content. I have no evidence for any of this. It's just a thought, so bear with me. For as long as they could, creators would create 360 montages and videos of various entertainment value. The price of these videos is often the humiliation of the opposing side, which in some cases, like the infamous Ochido, can result in a deliberately unfun match for the victim. In other examples, a content creator may just end up in a match with opponents that were no match for them, and they could use the entire match to highlight a meme build or focus on their 360s or show how amazing of a hag player they are when they're really only just a mediocre player facing weaker opponents. It's possible, but not always the reason that this is why you often see content creators cut out the tally screen, preventing the viewer from being able to see the rank of the opponents that were just featured in the video. In recent days though, rank is even less of an indicator of skill, and some videos are possible because of the matchmaking issues that are rampant in the game. If you see a video that focuses on the bad plays of the opponent or the amazing plays of the creator, consider that the video could possibly be a result of Dead by Daylight's perfect matchmaking. And now we come full circle to the original thought. I wonder if content creators who use matches against weaker opponents for their content will find themselves facing more skilled opponents and end up with fewer opportunities for memeing if the upcoming MMR system is accurate. This might be particularly impactful for content creators who are survivor mains. If things work out the way I think they might, content creators might find themselves making less Dead by Daylight content that focuses on them toying with their opponents, but instead to create more videos with genuinely skillful play from both sides. This would create a much different entertainment experience than is currently found by many creators. The interesting thing about this system is that if it's successful, then players are going to be forced to play against opponents of similar skill, right? But in order to keep their stated balance goal of 2 kill, 2 escape, the devs are going to have to balance things in a very similar way that they have been recently, and the game as a whole might start to feel good to play for both sides. This also means that players previously hamstrung by matchmaking that paired them up with overwhelming opponents is going to pair them up with equally skilled opponents, which in turn will allow those players to become better at the game without becoming punching bags for some content creators. While many players are saying that this new patch has made things easier for killers, It's the players who think things have gotten more difficult who stand the most to gain from the recent map changes and the possible effects of the upcoming MMR system. Like many killer players before them, these players will fight against the changes that make the game more difficult for them, and that in turn will make them stronger players. I'm sure you see this circle as well, so let's bring it back to the content creators. What this means is that it's possible that your favorite content creators are going to be going up against stronger opponents, and their true skill will be shown. Imagine if Ochido could only play against opponents that were equally skilled. What kind of videos do you think he'd make? Think about your favorite content creators and the types of videos they make. When faced with opponents of equal skill, what kind of videos do you think they will make? I don't know for sure, but I really hope that we'll end up seeing more skilled gameplay from players who increase their skill from the matchmaking rather than the meme videos that mock lesser skilled players. Of course, I've done the same thing a few times, but that'll change when the matchmaking system pairs me up with players of equal skill. Changing the maps is just the beginning. As players clamor for fair matches, where they're paired up with players of equal skill, the MMR system is going to create a situation where a balanced match is even more important. As time goes on, all players are going to get better, and be able to more clearly recognize where the issues in the game lie. As this happens, the forums are going to fill up with even more calls for balance on various issues. Some valid, some not so much. Moris and keys will change. Weaker perks will be buffed in order to be comparably useful to the better perks, which will create build diversity on both sides. Core mechanics of the game may even be smoothed out and made better, similar to the vaulting change. Whether they intend to or not, changing the maps and creating an MMR system is going to drive Dead by Daylight into a more competitive arena. In some ways, it's already heading that direction as they work to make the game feel more fair to play for both sides. While it'll never be the next esport, if I'm right, more players are going to try to win more often than they do now. After I was finished with this script, I thought about Survive with Friends and solo players. As player skill increases, and players are matched up with other players of equal skill, weaker survivors are going to be going into the fog more often with their friends for the advantages that a group provides. Some content creators have made tweets about how bad their teammates are in solo queue, and claim they will only play in groups from now on. If the players they end up being matched up with end up having equal skill, this claim that their teammates are bad may have less merit, and those who only play in groups are either simply gaming with friends, trying to meme it up, or they're using the group to cover for their own lack of skill. Imagine if you, as a solo player, are regularly matched up with players of equal skill. Would you feel the need to play in a larger group for reasons other than a fun match with friends that isn't at the cost of deliberately bullying the killer? But of course, I really could be way off. I'm not psychic after all. This is just a thought I had from looking at comments and content while thinking about upcoming MMR changes. What do you think about this train of thought? Do you agree? Disagree? Do you think the changes we're seeing will have the effect that I think they might? Which content creators do you think have the most to gain from the MMR system if it works well? Let me know in the comments, and we'll have a little discussion about it. That's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you in the fog.